if you're tuning in live for Friday Yoga, hello, my name is Karen. We're going to be doing a yoga short that lasts about half an hour. Today's focus will be on stability. We're going to do core strength and lower body work. What else do I have to tell you? I'm not sure. So let's get started. If anything doesn't feel good in your body as we go through the yoga class, please feel free to take child's pose or just take a break and take a rest. If you're watching this, please be doing yoga with us. We'll have everybody come to stand in Tadasana to start. And I'm going to adjust the camera angle so that we can see everybody. There we go. All right. So first off, we're just going to place our feet below our hips. And then evenly weight your feet between the front foot and the back foot in your heel, and the inner foot and the outer foot. And then just begin to breathe. Sending weight down through your legs and grounding into your mat. Try to expand your belly as you're breathing so that you feel air come all the way down your lungs into the base of your belly, relaxing it as you inhale, easy exhales. And then I'm going to get everybody to take your shoulders and roll them out and stack your spine so you elongate the spine, lifting the chin. So you gain length in your torso. You have more room to breathe in and out. And then as you breathe, feel the ribs expand, feel the spaces between the ribs, the intercostal muscles start to stretch, grounding in through the heels. Good. Now I want you to focus on where your spine is in space. We're going to be moving into different positions throughout this class. So I want you to be able to recognize what a neutral spine looks like. And standing in this position with the spine stacked all the way, you should feel like your spine is in a neutral position. So we're going to just take that with us as we go through different motions. So when I say come to a neutral spine, close your eyes and come back to this posture in your body. To begin, we're going to take the feet on the mat and we're going to try to activate the hamstrings. The hamstrings are located at the back of the thigh, and we're going to be working at this throughout the class today. So in order to engage the hamstrings from a standing position, I want you to almost try to imagine that you have gum on the bottom of your shoes. So we're going to be doing like this motion, but you're actually using the stickiness of your mat to pull the foot back. And then hopefully you should feel it engage. If you're not sure, you can actually bend over and you can touch it when you're standing, and it should just be like jelly. And then try that motion with the foot, and you should feel it harden quite substantially. And then try the opposite side. So everybody at home, hopefully you're doing these exercises with us. We're just mentally trying to put this in our brain so we know where the hamstrings are and how to engage them a little bit. All right, now we're going to move into a little bit more hamstring contraction. So I'm going to move my mat out of the way, and then if you are at home, this is something that I should have mentioned at the beginning, I would like you to go and grab, if you're on hardwood, maybe grab socks or washcloths. You might need a couple blocks or maybe some books. Big thick books work best. And a strap. I've got a yoga strap here, but just like a house coat belt or robe belt, is that what you guys call it? I know. Canadian versus American. There's lots of different names, but some sort of strap or belt will work really well. So we're just going to move these out of the way so that the girls can lay on the hardwood. So just shift your mat over, and I just need enough space for your hips to be on the hardwood, just slightly, so that each of you can go in between. So Priscilla, you're going to come here, and then Jessica, you're going to come there. And then I want you to take the washcloths and just have them at your side. We're going to use them in a second. So to begin with, I will demonstrate right here. I'm going to have everybody come to a supine position, just lying down on your back. We're going to press the heels into the ground, and we're just going to engage the hamstrings to lift the hips. Now I'm not trying to dump through my pelvis. My pelvis isn't wiggling back and forth. I'm trying to maintain a neutral spine just like we were when we were standing, and I'm just going to try to lift slightly to engage the hamstrings. Think of driving the heels into the floor as you pull them towards you. So go ahead and lie down on the hardwood. And for those of you at home, if you're working on carpet, you can grab paper plates instead of the washcloths or the socks on hardwood. Just have them beside you right now. So everybody, find that neutral spine. You should have a little bit of elevation in your low back, between the low back and the floor. You should feel your pelvis against the floor and your shoulders against the floor and your head against the floor. And then think about driving your heels down and driving them back, and lift the hips just slightly. We don't want that curvature in your back to become angled more than it is. So just slightly, it's the slightest motion. Do you feel it in your hamstrings? Mm-hmm. Lift up for about 5 to 10 seconds. Breathing as you lift. So we're getting those hamstrings to activate and to work. Nicely done. Go ahead and lower down. Now hopefully that's given everyone at home a little bit of time to be able to find your socks or your washcloths or your paper plates or some alternate thing for carpet. And then we're going to place, in this case, the washcloths under our heels. If you have socks on and you're on hardwood, then you're good already. So just place them under your heels. And then we're going to do that same motion of pushing down in the heels and pulling back towards us. And this time I want you to start to bend your knees. Curling the hamstrings and lift the pelvis as you bend them. And if you find that it's too much, just stick with the elongated legs. Once you're up, then slide them back down. Are you feeling it in your hamstrings?
Yes.
Hmm? Good answer. All right, we're going to do that one more time. So pushing the heels down and then bringing them in towards you, maintaining a neutral spine as you go. Hamstring contraction is what gives us stability in a lot of the standing poses in yoga, which is why we're trying to isolate the hamstring contracting beforehand. All right, and extend back out. Nicely done. Okay, quickly put those to the side and then we'll get the mats back where they belong, and then I want you to come back into the same position, and we're just going to try to activate through the transverse abs. Most of the time when people say abs, they think about doing lots of crunches and having the six-pack, or it's the rectus abdominis that you see there. We're going to try to work on the transverse abs that come in through here, and those are the ones that help to stabilize us as we move through life. So go ahead, come onto your backs. And then lift your knees up so your feet come in towards your bottom. And then I want you to place 2 fingers just above where your pelvis ends and the soft part of your body starts on either side. So it's right above the 2 pelvic heads. Yep, right there. For those of you at home, it's right here. This is the top of my pelvis. This is where I want your fingers to be while you're lying down. And then I want you on the exhale to try to engage those muscles. You can come into a slight pelvic tilt, sort of tucking your tailbone underneath you, and you should feel it harden. If you're not getting it with that, just think about maybe lifting one of the heels, and your transverse should engage. Don't actually lift the foot, but just think about it, and that should in itself activate those muscles. Does everybody feel them there?
Yes.
Good. Everybody at home, I'm assuming that you feel the same thing, hopefully. All right, and now we're going to lift the knees. But as we lift the knees, you won't be able to see from that angle, so I'm going to demonstrate here. I want you to lift them so they come to a horizontal position, so they're perpendicular to the floor. I don't want them to come in further to the body. So we're going to have them come to a perpendicular position. And then I want your lower back to press into the mat beneath you. So bring your knees up. And actually, I'm going to get you all to tilt sideways for this. Maybe stagger yourself just so that people in the video can see a little bit better. We've got all angles here. Okay. All right, press your low back in towards the floor. Keep your low back kissing the back of the floor the whole time. And then take your right toe and just tap it towards the floor, close to your bottom. There you go. Keep the two fingers in your transverse abs and feel them engage. Now left toe taps, close to your bottom. Jessica, tap your left toe on the floor. Oh. There you go. And lift up. All right, now right toe taps. Is your lower back still pressing in? Left toe taps. Okay, this time we're going to take the toe taps out a little bit. Option always to just stick with the initial movement in the pose. So we're going to tap the right toe, but we're going to bring it farther away from you. And up, left toe, and up. Push that lower spine down into the ground. And just start alternating on your own. Right toe and up, pushing the lower back in towards the ground as you're doing it. And hopefully you're getting very strong engagement. You might start to be shaking if you're not used to working the transverse abs. If this is feeling really good, take the leg long and tap it out far away from you. If it's not feeling really good, keep the legs bent short, but make sure that you're not using counterweight as you tap. So as we're tapping, my leg that is bent is staying perpendicular to the floor. I'm not bringing it in because that's using the weight of this leg in order to take this one long. I'm not engaging anything in my abs when I do that. All right, bring both knees up to perpendicular to the floor. And then if it feels good, try to tap both toes onto the ground. And up. Keep that lower back down. Try it one more time. If you can't do it, just revert back to the single leg taps. Good. All right, coming back onto your mat. Well done, you guys. Is everybody feeling it in your core?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I just realized that I didn't introduce these wonderful women that are working with me today. This is Priscilla, this is Jessica, and this is Chantel. So, and for those of you at home, please comment and let me know who is taking this class with us so I have an idea of who's participating. All right, for the next exercise, we're going to come into quadruped or all fours. And then we're going to try to re-stabilize through the spine so that we come into a neutral spine in quadruped. So I'm going to come around with a dowel. If you don't have a dowel at home, you can use a broomstick. And I'm just going to check to make sure that everybody's back is stable. I'm going to get Priscilla to bend her elbows so that her shoulders come in line with her hips. And then we should feel her lumbar at the back, her lower back, her upper back, and her head. So come down through here. Take your low back down, but keep this up. Low back down, this part up. It's on. There you go. Okay, hold that. Now Priscilla's really activating the transverse abs and she's stabilizing through her body. So Jessica, take this part up and take your head up so your head touches the dowel. There we go. And then take your lower back down a little bit. There you go, a little bit more. And take this part up to touch the dowel. I want this to come in contact with the dowel. Better. Yeah. And then engage your core and stay there. Chantel did this last week. Let's see, let's see. Take this part up, take this part up, lower down through here. Good, this part up, lower down through here. Okay, stabilize it there. All right, from this position, and at home, if you don't have a dowel or you didn't use a broomstick and you don't have a partner, there's an easy fix for that. You can take your blocks or your books, and I'm gonna put it on your hips and your shoulders. So this is the test, whether or not you can maintain these blocks on your hips and shoulders as we go through the next few exercises. And by exercises, I realize this is a yoga class, but this helps stabilize everything so that when we go through yoga, like cat and cow, and when we go through our downward dog and sun salutations, that you have a better idea of stability as you move. All right, I'm gonna get the girls to lift their right hand up, keeping everything stable, engaging their core, and set it back down. Left hand up, set it back down, knees come up, tucking the toes. Yeah, nailed it. So good. All right, we're gonna tuck the toes and elevate both knees. Both knees. Chantal was you were just doing tricky stuff over here. That's okay. And then, if you're still stable, we're gonna walk forward, and I'll demonstrate from the side. So we're gonna walk forward, just to the top of our mat. So maybe 1 or 2 steps forward, and then 1 or 2 steps back, keeping our shoulders and our hips totally stable as we move. Good. All right, now that we're stable through the core body, we're going to move through some sun salutations and take those movements with us as we go through them. So now we're going to take all the exercises that we just did and incorporate them into yoga to get you thinking about your yoga practice a little bit different. So go ahead and move the blocks. Everybody's laughing. It's a hard exercise. All right. So come up to stand at the top of your mat. We're going to inhale, circle sweep the arms up. Exhale as we lower down towards the toes. Relaxing through the crown of the head, maybe bending through the knees, trying to take the tail up towards the ceiling. Come up into a neutral spine, extending through the crown of the head. So lengthening through the spine, coming into a neutral spine, just like we did. Extend through here, so push this down. Yeah, right there. And then exhale as you plant the hands at the top of your mat, step back into plank, keeping the elbows in. We're gonna lower all the way down to our belly. We're gonna inhale, rolling the shoulders back, coming into cobra. We're gonna exhale, coming back down. And then with a neutral spine, neutralize your spine just like we've been doing the whole way. Option here to come to all fours and then come to down dog, or pushing up through plank to down dog when you're ready. All right, walk your hands back towards your feet. If walking your hands back towards your feet feels inaccessible, you can bend your knees to take them back and then maybe straighten to lift up. Then take your hands forward to plank, and we're going to walk our feet towards our hands. Again, option here to bend the knees to bring them in and hover. Hands down, walk the feet back. Hands come towards feet. Trying to engage through the core and stabilize through the shoulders and the hips as you do this. One more time, walking the hands forward. Walking the feet forward. Walking the feet back. Walking the hands back. Good. Inhale as you slowly roll all the way up through the spine. Coming back to Tadasana. Inhale, circle sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Bending through the knees if you need. This time, we're going to bring our toes to touch. We're going to bend in deeply through the knees, engaging the hamstrings as we Bend through the knees and lift the torso up into chair pose. Put the weight in the heels. Breathe here. We're going to exhale as we come down. Walk those hands forward. Exhaling all the way down. Inhaling up to cobra. Exhaling down. And then either coming through all fours or coming through plank to down dog, but making sure that your spine stays neutral and stable as you go through the motions. We're going to come up to tiptoe, slight bend in the knees, take the right foot forward between the hands. Inhale the arms up to high lunge. And then in high lunge, try to take the pelvis, which tends to dump forward, bend the back knee to tuck the pelvis under. Everybody feel that in the front of their left leg? Good. So we're trying to level the pelvis out. So as we tuck the pelvis, the knee comes forward. We're going to exhale the hands down, step back into high plank. Keep the elbows in. Exhale to lower all the way to the ground. Inhale. Cobra. Exhale, coming through to your down dog. Up to tiptoes, slight bend in the knee. Step the left foot forward. And then inhale the arms up, high lunge. Doing the same thing here, bending back through the back knee as you rotate the pelvis. And then maybe come a little bit deeper in that front knee. Breathing here. Try to externally rotate the arms so the pinkies come towards each other and the arm bones elongate so the upper arms are in line with the ears almost. Exhale the hands down, step back into high plank, keeping the elbows in, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale down. And then coming into your down dog or child's pose if you're done. Good. All right, we're going to step the feet forward and just come crisscross applesauce to the middle of our mats. And then we're going to come to lay down. And if you guys want to lay down with your heads on the top of the mat here, and then you can grab a block. We're going to place the block between our legs. Ideally between the thighs. Make sure you have a really good grip. And then bring the heels in towards your body. We're going to do a little bit more hamstring work. So tuck the pelvis, and as you tuck the pelvis and you feel the weight shift onto your spine, we're going to lift the hips up. Continue to roll on your spine until you reach your shoulders. Continue to squeeze the block in, squeezing the knees together. And then exhale as you roll down through the spine, trying to articulate between each of the vertebrae as you roll. So you're placing each vertebrae down on the mat as you go. And then starting to squeeze the block, tuck the pelvis, roll the vertebrae up off of your mat. Coming all the way up towards your shoulders. Squeeze the block, push the pelvis up a little bit higher. Shift the weight into the shoulders towards your head. Squeeze the block a little bit more. Push the pelvis up a little bit more. And then very slowly on an exhale, roll yourself down, trying to place each vertebrae on the mat as you go. Almost as though I had a string of beads and I was dropping the beads down onto a table, and each bead would come down separately or individually from the other. We're going to do that one more time. So tucking through the pelvis, squeezing the block, inhale as you roll up. Holding here. Stabilizing through the spine, remembering to breathe. Shifting the weight onto the shoulders, lifting the pelvis, squeezing the block. Breathe. Everybody's feeling this, right?
Yeah.
The hamstrings are talking to you. We're all still smiling. This is fun. You're choosing to do this. And then exhale as you slowly come down, setting each vertebrae down on the mat as you go. Good. We're going to remove the block, and then we're going to take the right leg long, keep the left knee bent, and then we're going to take the left knee over towards the right side. So you're coming into a twist on the opposite side. Try to keep your shoulders on the floor as you come into the twist through the knee. Remembering to breathe, starting to slow down the breathing a little bit now. If you're feeling like your leg is kind of hanging in space, you can take a block or a bolster or pillow or blanket if you have it, and you can set it underneath the knee. This will help the nervous system to calm down and allow you to go further in your practice with time. Remembering to breathe and remembering to ground through both of your shoulders. The ego really wants that knee to get to the ground, but if you're mindful of where the shoulders are, hopefully you'll be able to stay in a nice twist that's good for your spine. And then if you're wanting to add the cervical part of the spine, the neck, take your gaze over towards the left, so towards me. There you go. And then exhale as you unwind, maybe moving the block to the opposite side if you were using it on that side. We're going to bend through the right knee, lengthen through the left leg, and then take the right knee over towards the left side, being mindful to keep the shoulders on the mat. Breathing here. Maybe shifting your gaze over that right shoulder so that you get the head and the neck in the twist. Inhaling and exhaling deeply, allowing your belly to expand with the inhales, allowing your nervous system to calm down and take in the practice. Unwinding back to center. Moving the blocks and props out of the way and setting your hips in the middle of your mat. Extending yourself out for Shavasana. I'm going to let these girls relax while I talk at the rest of you in Shavasana. I want to join you. I want to thank you for joining us today. The link wasn't working, which is why we've gone live. I'm hoping that most people were able to find this. I'm going to leave it up for the next week, and then hopefully we'll get our technical issues sorted out for next week. And I hope to see you then. If you want to join the live link and you're viewing this publicly right now, then you can go ahead and I will post a link. It'll be either up above or down below. It's also in the welcome video on my YouTube channel. There's a link there that will get you to access the live Friday 30-minute yoga shorts. Thank you for joining us, and please comment below and let me know things that you'd like to see. The focus today was hamstrings and core, stabilizing the spine, but if you'd like to see other things, if you'd like to see more yoga flow or things like that, please leave me a comment and let me know. And other than that, we'll see you next week. Bye guys.